Hi, everybody. I'm not sure if you can see me here or not. Maybe you can just tell me something in the comments. I'm very freaking out because the live stream wasn't working. So this is kind of the backup I have. Yeah, so I'm very sorry. And I really hope the other people from the chat, because I saw all of you were like writing to me and everything. I really hope everybody is now here. So yeah, I'm very sorry. I saw you answered or like asked all the questions. So yeah. Yeah, I have your questions there. So I'm not sure if you want me to go and see what questions you asked there or what should I do? Yeah, and thank you. You can see me, so that's good. Yeah, so right now I see there is like 23 people here. Yeah, I was so worried. It's not working. But anyway, I think since none of you has asked any questions here, I will go and see the live chat you had there before, and I'm gonna start answering the questions you posted there, and then I'm gonna come here. Yeah, I will just start from there. So the first questions from Katerina Visseri. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but she's asking, so she's trying to get out of the eating disorder thoughts and to eat something every day she craves, but she's seeing herself in a mirror that she is fat and she feels like she's gaining more weight each week and she can't eat normally. Yeah, and she feels like she's overeating, and she can't take control of the food anymore. So what I see here is still like you don't need to control your weight, you don't need to control your food, but what you need to do is also like focus on the mental side of recovery, because recovery is not only about having the control over food or reaching to a healthy weight or anything, but you need to focus on the mental side of recovery. And most like your thoughts, like what are your thoughts? If your thoughts are like self-critical, if your thoughts are like I'm fat, I'm gaining weight each week, I can't do it, if your thoughts are so negative, then this is the number one thing you have to start working on, because your thoughts won't fix themselves. Like you have to work on your thoughts. Just as you will work on the physical side of recovery, you need to work on the mental side of recovery as well. And this is kind of the hardest part. So quickly, what I can say here, of course, this is like such a big subject and everything, but what I did was like essentially how I helped myself to full recovery, recovering on my own, was to like dive into the like the recovery, like search recovery, everything I can find, like all the books, all the authors, because the information's on the internet, like it's there, like search the information. And I would recommend you to dive deep into the the body image, self-love information, the how to change your limiting beliefs, your negative thoughts, and everything like that. So yeah, because the information on the internet, like it's all there. You have to like become obsessed in a good way about helping yourself to get to full recovery and the mental recovery. So Maria Timona was asking, so she had anorexia and she has gained like weight already. And she finds herself often like overeating and binging, and she's not restricting anymore. So this is also like I have no idea actually like how is your mental state, and also like physical recovery is only one part of the full recovery. And even when you are on the like a normal weight range, by the way, this weight seems like so low in my opinion. So even when you are in the low like lowest like but healthy BMI weight range, it doesn't mean that this is your healthy weight or your set point weight. And yeah, and this is just like recovery needs time, and you need to be consistent. You need to give it time, uh, and um, and yeah, you can't base on your like because you're overeating based on the fact that you think that you have gained weight, because this is not the only thing that takes to like full recovery. Yeah, and if you don't know how to start, I recommend getting my book, because my book really teaches about like everything I know, and this is like the quickest and cheapest way to get like all the information I share, basically. Um, Yeah, so by the way, I'm reading all the comments from the other chat, but already here you have asked me some comments. So I will just get back on here where you're asking me the actual comments, and yeah, but I'm just very sorry about before. Like the internet thing is just so like random, and yeah, you need to learn. So I'm still practicing, but yeah, I'm so happy to see so many of you here. Yeah, so I'm very, very happy about that. I was a little bit worried about the time. Like it's Thursday. Many of you, maybe it's like in the middle of the day or something, or very early in the day. Okay, so let's get on to the questions. Uh, mm. So Ivona is asking, I never heard you talking about whether you gained weight in recovery and whether you managed to shed it off. I have talked about it. I'm not sure in which video but I think I shared in my book. So I didn't gain much weight in recovery. I mean the real weight, not just water retention and bloating that I definitely have had. I believe I didn't gain weight in recovery despite eating, like 3,000 calories or something like that, plus the extreme hunger, because like in my eating disorder, like I would say like past few years before I started my actual recovery, I already uh, at least like tried to let go of the calorie restriction. I was following the high carb, low fat vegan diet, and there, like, yes, they restrict other foods. It's very orthorexic, but even there, like, they recommended people to eat, like the 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. So I think this saved my metabolism. That I was still kind of like I was trying to eat like so many calories, despite I was never actually satisfied because the food didn't satisfy me. I was very orthorexic. But yeah, but if you come from very low calorie dieting, then yes, like you can start to gain weight just because of the rebound effect and such. But definitely my digestion was messed up. I felt so bloated. And definitely I was more puffier. I had like water retention. So this was my kind of like weight gain I experienced in recovery. But overall, yes, I didn't gain like much weight. Mm, so what else? Mm. So one, I don't know how to pronounce names because I think I will just sound very weird, but I will just read the question. Hey, do you think it's normal to binge when I am at BMI 24 and I've been recovering for 8 months? I'm really disgusting and so fat. I have my period for 5 months. Last month I had it twice. So yeah, like even people who are like, I don't know, like overweight according to the BMI number or whatever, like it doesn't matter what's your weight. Like you still need a lot of food because you come from restriction. Like I was normal weight and I still ate like so much food, and I had extreme hunger. I was constantly obsessed about food, constantly thinking about food, even though like technically like my body was at the normal weight. So like it doesn't matter what's your weight. Yes, you still need recovery, and try to see the binges more as like recovery hunger or extreme hunger, because many people have this like negative association to like the binge eating. uh, like it means that something is normal, it's not normal. And yeah, I really don't like to use the term like binge eating when you are in recovering, because actually it is just, recovery eating, feasting, extreme hunger, and it's normal. Yeah. So also, if you have been in 8 months in recovery, like this doesn't tell me like what have you been doing in 8 months, because some people have wrote to me like, I have been in recovery for 2 years, and then I asked them, have you been consistent? And they are kind of like, yeah, I have been like purging, but only like once a week. Or like just last week I finally stopped exercising. So like, have you been very consistent in recovery? Because this is the fastest way to get to full recovery. And as I mentioned earlier, you need to also work on your body image. The diet mentality is everywhere. Also, what I see in people who are recovering from eating disorders, like they will start to see the weight changes, and they can't compensate, so they will have all this like fear coming up and everything, and they will start to focus on their body gaining weight, and they have all this like negative talk, like self-talk and everything. So this can, like, just by having those restrictive thoughts that something is wrong with my body, like my body is too big, I need to lose weight, even like by having those thoughts, it's kind of like restrictive, even though like physically you are not dieting anymore. So restrictive thoughts or the diet mentality is also that can keep up you having all those like binges, or like overeating, because you always tell yourself like, my body shouldn't gain weight, it's not okay to eat this much because I will gain weight. So make sure you also like unbrainwash all of those beliefs about your body, and the negative mindset and the diet mentality. um, yeah, so let's see what else. Oh my god, there's so many questions. um, Miranda is asking, hi Elisa, I'm still in quasi recovery for 3 years. I'm trying to fully recover, but every time I relapse, when I have anxiety, when I have mental health problems, what to do? I restrict every time. So, yeah, um, so people often need recovery help, and it's totally okay to ask help. You don't have to do it alone. If you have been trying to recover for 3 years, but you have the anxiety and everything that will make you relapse, then you need to ask support. Yeah, like whatever you can do. Like I found a way to support myself by diving into all the recovery information, reading about it. I started to blog about it even when I was still in recovery, reading about, like the water retention, how the weight gain happens. Like this is how I wrote my book basically. I started to already write it when I was in recovery in order to help myself, in order to convince myself to never relapse, to never go back. And yeah, like to brainwash myself in a positive way. But if you feel it's like too overwhelming, then definitely you have to ask help. Because for example, like in my like one-on-one coaching, people have come from also like being like years in quasi recovery, uh, and when we start to work together, be very consistent, and I'm there to reassure them, always kind of like help them keep on track, then even after like 1 month they see more changes than they have seen in just like, I don't know, recovering from for like 1 or 2 years on their own, because they constantly relapse, they have the anxiety, which is totally normal. So if you can ask like recovery help, or even like, like from your friends or family to support you, and not do it alone, because eating disorder wants you to do it alone in order to keep you hiding, lying. Yeah, the eating disorder thrives in secrecy. So the more you can open up, the more you can build this like recovery support system around you. If it's doctors, if it's your friends and family, if it's even, the online communities, different people who talk about recovery, read only recovery information, like surround yourself with all this like recovery positive information. Make sure you unfollow any accounts. Make sure you don't search, all these like triggering things on the internet. So you really have to make this like recovery, supporting recovery environment around you to help yourself keep on going. Because yeah, I would say like consistency is really key. Because if you go back and forth like relapse, recovery, relapse, then yeah, you won't see the results. So consistency is key. Uh, Existentialist runner. It has been 6 weeks of very loose, no calorie counting after years and years of restrictive eating, suffered from binge eating and over exercising for 17 years. Anyway, now finally I'm letting go. Your videos give me courage. Find it difficult to listen to my body. Most days do not feel hungry and feel satisfied when eating because eating so pass out. I don't really understand the last sentence of the questions, but I just hear that you are now finally in recovery. The videos have helped you. I'm so happy for that. Uh, so yeah, you talk about like feeling hungry and satisfied. So this is the most important key, because people feel like, yeah, I'm eating until I'm so full and I'm so bloated. So it means that I'm eating enough. But actually, what's more important is that are you actually getting satisfied from what you eat? Like, are you eating the most delicious, satisfying foods? Because like getting to full and satisfied after like each meal, each snack is very important in order to normalize your like hunger cues and everything. And yeah, and what I have seen with many of the people I help is that like they have to get to this like mental satisfaction point. And if you have seen my video about the extreme hunger, or no, the extreme hunger, the mental hunger, like you have to see the video about mental hunger, because the mental hunger in recovery is real, and you have to eat to your like mental satisfaction level. And uh, and yeah, and do it consistently. How long it takes to start getting there, because this is even how I eat. Maybe, yeah, I'm like fully recovered, and it doesn't take me like so like much food anymore. But even until now, like I still eat until I'm like fully physically and mentally satisfied. And this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And this really helped me to heal my normal hunger cues in recovery, to eating until I'm like mentally satisfied as well. So eating the most delicious food you can find. Generally it's all the like high calorie, like higher fat, higher carb, like very delicious like taste combinations. uh, you know yeah, and just like ask yourself, what do I really crave? What do I really feel like eating right now? And like delete all the judgment around food, all the shame and guilt around food, and just kind of like listen to your intuition, like focus on your heart. Like, if all the foods are available for me right now, like what do I really want to eat? If I wouldn't feel guilty, if I wouldn't feel shame around food or around my body. And then you have to give yourself the unconditional permission to eat exactly those foods, because those foods are like a medicine to your body, and this is exactly what your body needs. Like all of those signals to eat, these like high calorie foods, like we see it as like, like our fear foods, and we are so afraid to respond. But actually those signals comes from your body telling you to eat those foods. Otherwise it wouldn't, send you those thoughts to always think about them. And um, and yeah, and really you have to start listening to your body, like what do I really want to eat? And don't listen to the eatings of the fear, the shame, and the guilt, and all the focus on the weight. So I really don't know if it answered your questions because I didn't understand the last sentence. But yeah, I hope so. Um, so EE is answering, is asking, and I know how you, and I know how you can shift your feelings and mindset. But when you feel down, what do you tell yourself? So when you feel down, like what do I tell myself? So even I have bad days. I have days when I feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life, and I don't know who I am, and I have those like crisis moments. But of course, like compared to my past, when I had the depression or when I had eating disorder, those days don't happen as often anymore, and they are more like a rarity. But yeah, I still have them, and it's so normal. Like, I give myself the permission to have a bad day. I give myself the permission to express my feelings. And if I want to cry, I let myself cry. If I want to, I'm like angry, maybe I need to talk somebody to just kind of like rant. you know I find a way to express my feelings or emotions, to let them like out from my body, and not just like swallow them in and keep them in, locked. And also sometimes I do like writing. I write down like everything that's on my mind, just to get clear what I'm feeling, what is my worry. And sometimes even this like just helps me to get it like out of my system. And yeah, so get your emotions, your feelings out in a healthy way, by talking to somebody, by letting yourself cry, be sad, by asking for support, by writing like what you're feeling. So this is like kind of like the healthy way to let your emotions out. And at the same time, when I let my emotions out, for example, when I cry, I still have the mindset kind of like, Elisa, it's okay to cry. Like, I still love you. I care about you. We will figure it out. This is just like one bad day. Tomorrow you're going to feel already better. So, this is kind of the self talk I'm going to have in my mind. And even when I don't feel like having the positive self talk, then I don't have to kind of force it. But at the same time, I'm still gonna like support myself, and still gonna be like, yeah, like you don't have to worry about it today, but tomorrow you're gonna feel better. So, what do you want to do today in order to make yourself feel better? And maybe I just wanna have like a rest day. I don't wanna do anything. I wanna like switch out off everything. I'm just gonna watch some movie. And generally, what really helps me is to like watch some positive movie that will inspire me. I really like to watch the true life story movies, inspirational movies, documentaries, and also some funny movies, and even like the serial TV serials, for example, like Friends. Yeah, with my boyfriend, we watched like all seasons of Friends last year, and every day before we went to bed, it made us like laugh and just forget about all the worries and everything. So, like, simple things like that to keep you in like a positive mental space when you have a bad day. So, yeah, this is personally what I do. And it's very important to support yourself as you would support a best friend. Because if your best friend would be struggling, you wouldn't just get angry at them. You wouldn't just, shame them. You wouldn't just tell them, like, you are a bad person, you're not worthy. No, you would tell them, like, I love you. We will get through it. We will figure something out. So you have to have the same kind of mindset with yourself when you talk with yourself. So let's see. You are so sweet. Thank you. You are sweet. Uh, so Nicola is asking, I feel like I'm losing track of recovery. I'm still restricting. I've been told that I need to rest, but I'm so afraid of restoring. Uh, Yeah, so I feel like you really first have to get straight, like why you straight with yourself, like why you want recovery, why you are doing this. Because like if you have this inner resistance, it's very hard to even like motivate or push yourself to recovery. So you have to have some, like higher purpose, like why you want recovery in the first place. For example, some people want recovery, that like they will stop binge eating, because in their head it means like, oh, then I won't gain weight if I can stop binge eating. But this is, yeah, kind of like it's not enough to recover you, because like this is again some kind of like weight control reason you wanna recover. So you have to start like having some, like higher purpose for your recovery that will motivate you even when you have those very very hard days. For example, my motivation was just the fact that like living with eating disorder was so miserable that I couldn't imagine that I someday I will wake up, like 30 years from now and think like, oh my God, like I can't believe I didn't do anything about it. Even though, like the internet, the information is just there. And I really had the mindset of like I would do whatever it takes, and I'm gonna give, like 100% to this full recovery, and I'm not gonna stop until I'm there. And yeah, you really have to have the mindset of like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And the misery of the eating disorder, staying in the eating disorder, has to be worse in your head than thinking that like, oh, I have to struggle or have hard days in recovery. Like having the hard days in recovery, it has to be, better in your mind than staying with the eating disorder for the rest of your life. So you really have to get your kind of the long term picture in place, because the long term recovery is so much worth it. If you spend, let's say, like 1 year, 2 years to getting yourself to full recovery, being consistent and everything, then after like 1, 2 years or something, you could be over this by now, and you can go live your life, without the eating disorder. But if you focus on today in recovery, you feel so bad, you feel fat, you feel like you're gaining weight, you have extreme hunger. Like nobody's saying it's super easy or comfortable, but it's temporary. Like this is the short term. But if short term you feel, no, I need to feel better right now, so I'm just going to go and restrict, yeah, you're not gonna just get the long term benefits. So really like focus on the long term, what you want uh, from your life. Uh, so Brooke is asking, do you usually finish a meal when you start to feel pressure in your stomach? I'm trying to relearn this concept. So I really like. I'm gonna try to explain like how I finish my meal. Actually, I have no idea. uh, yeah, as I said earlier, I'm trying to get until like eat until I'm full and satisfied. And when I get to this point, I just stop eating. I have no desire to eat more, even though I have all the good food options like around me, because I know next snack or next meal and for the rest of my life all the foods are available. So this is why I never feel like overeating, because I have gave myself the unconditional permission to eat, not today, not this one meal, but for the rest of my life. And this is how the food loses all power over you. And in recovery, definitely, I ate when I was like over full. And I feel like this is my body, what my body actually needed. And I don't think it was kind of wrong or anything. But I needed to also like mentally reassure to myself that it's okay to eat like whatever I want, as much as I want, and that the food is gonna be always there. I'm gonna give myself the unconditional permission to eat. So just like mentally reassuring myself that like I am eating whatever I want, and I feel good, and I feel full and satisfied, and just reassuring myself that I will never diet, I will never restrict. This is over. This is in the past. Now I can eat whatever I want all the time. So just kind of mentally like deprogramming my brain that the food restriction will never come after eating, because even when I started recovery, I think for some time maybe I was overeating just because of the fear of restriction tomorrow or exercise after a meal, or restriction in a few weeks, when I start to gain weight, then I panic. So even like you have to deprogram this mindset as well and tell yourself like restriction will never come. It will just never come. Yeah. So again, like I have to repeat this because it's very important part of getting your normal hunger cues back. So then you don't have to start focusing on so much about like what is the fullness of my stomach when I have to stop eating, but rather your body just stops eating because it's full and satisfied. So because I never stop eating just because my stomach reaches some kind of fullness. I stop eating when I just am satisfied. And sometimes, for example, when I'm, let's say, like very busy, then even me, like I need to eat a lot of food, a lot of food. So for example, the other day I don't remember what I did, but during daytime I was busy and I wasn't eating so much. So and it happens even for like intuitive eaters, normal eaters, and it has nothing to do with restrictions and stuff. But yeah, and after I got home, like my boyfriend was making pasta. I told him like, yeah, let's put like a lot of flavors, a lot of like oil and cream and everything, because I knew that I want to have like a very rich meal, and I ate double that he was eating, and it made me full and satisfied, and no food thoughts later and everything. So yeah, and I needed a lot of food. So yeah, like whatever it takes, whatever amount it takes to get you to the full and satisfied level. But in recovery, it can definitely be take a lot more food than maybe like after recovery. Yeah. So, and by the way, I just want to say, like before like I have to go in about like half an hour or a little bit less because I have a Skype call. So, but we have about like 20-25 minutes. So yeah, and we will definitely do more of these Q&As in the future. Mm. So So Fred is asking, I'm fully recovered now for 1.5 years. I never restrict, but sometimes still have night binges. Can it possibly be a habit instead of extreme hunger? So here, I'm really not sure, and and I know there's something called like nighttime hunger, or I can't remember. So yeah, again, I would ask you, like one-on-one like questions like, are you eating until like full and satisfied? Do you have any like diet mentality, diet mindset? How is your body image and stuff? Because this can also contribute to the like the binges or the extreme hunger and stuff. uh, so yeah, I really have to know like more to know like what's up. Oh, I lost my track. uh, so Sorry, it's just like so much to read. Uh, hey, I am in recovery. So her name or his name is Xa. I don't know how to pronounce it. Hey, I'm in recovery for 21 months after 1 year of restriction and still not healthy. I feel mentally healthy, but I have physical bad symptoms. Why it is such a long process? How long will it take? So here, like what I have heard with so many of the people I help, like one on one, is that like they actually like never recovered fully, before maybe seeing my videos, before realizing that they have to, like eat to their full hunger, physical hunger, mental hunger. and like they were just like too low weight to even like recover, because they maybe recovered like getting help from the recovery clinic or something. Because there, like, it's very often I see people are told like you need to now maintain this type of BMI, because this is your like healthy weight now, and now you have to follow this meal plan and eat according to the meal plan, and you can't like gain more weight, also you can't lose more weight, so you have to stay in this particular, like healthy number, and like all of those kind of things. Like, are you, like, I would really like to know more of you, and are you still like exercising? Are you actually eating to your full hunger? Like, how do you know you are like weight restored? Like, I don't even know if you had anorexia or not, but still, like like sometimes people are doing something that they don't even realize is still restrictive. uh, and this is why they can keep on having all the physical symptoms and stuff. So yeah. And also like all, like physical symptoms, let's say like stomach issues, and if you are now recovered, if you think you are now recovered, like all of this, like maybe there's something else contributing to this, like all symptoms don't have to be because you had an eating disorder. Even normal people go through all kind of like physical symptoms with never having an eating disorder, so it can be like another illness. So we really have to see that if you think you are now recovered, then maybe it's like something else you are experiencing. But I'm just not sure. I'm just giving you like ideas to think about. So, how do you deal with bad body image? Should I avoid mirrors in recovery, or maybe do the opposite? Watch myself to get used to bigger body. Sometimes seeing my bigger body in mirrors triggers me to relapse. So yeah, like the mirror checking. I think I have a video about this as well, and I think yes, part of the mirror checking, when you are like pinching your fat, when you are seeing all the, like focusing on the weight, only on the weight on your body, you're increasing weight. Like this can definitely be very triggering, and this is the eating disorder behavior. But part of the, like the mental recovery from an eating disorder, like doing some mirror exercises, like mirror work, it can be a very positive thing to help yourself to like accept your body and improve your body image. And I would really advise you, like when you look yourself in a mirror, because I think like you can't avoid yourself like looking yourself in a mirror as well, because like you have to be able to, when you're fully recovered, to be able to look yourself in a mirror and feel, like good about yourself, or even just neutral about yourself. And it shouldn't like just trigger relapse. And like when you look in a mirror, you should be maybe like start focusing on like what the body is there for. Like your body is not there for, it's not an object of criticism. Like our body is not an object of like it's not about your weight, or like how much fat you have on your body, or if you have a thigh gap. Like this is not our body's purpose. Like our body's purpose is to like help you like participate in this world and carry you around. Like your stomach is carrying all your like organs, your legs are helping you to run and move, your hands are helping you to like hug somebody and maybe do something you are very passionate about. Yeah, so your body's purpose is not to be an object of criticism. Like your body's purpose is something like way, like greater. So if you look yourself in the mirror, like really start to see your body from a different perspective. And also when you look in a mirror, I also advise you like look yourself in the eyes. Like don't only like look your body when you look in a mirror, but really like look yourself in the eyes, because this is like where your soul is. Like it doesn't matter like what is here, but you are like here. Like you look yourself in the eyes, and maybe you can have a conversation with yourself and tell yourself that you love yourself or you accept yourself. Um, yeah, and what do you want to hear? Uh, Somebody else, maybe, like if you would have a friend, what would you tell them to let them know that you are appreciating them and you care about them? So really have like a conversation with yourself when you look in a mirror. So yeah, because it's not only about your weight or how your body looks. uh, so what else? Mm. So somebody is asking, hi, I really want to stay vegan, but sometimes I get intense cravings. I don't want to eat animal products. Do you have any advice how to calm your mind? So, so I know that maybe many people who are like fully vegan, like they don't want to hear it, but like my advice is to like focus on you and focus on your recovery. And if you have intense cravings for like animal products, then I would say like let go of the like veganism, the label, and just like focus on responding to your body. And after you are fully recovered, like physically, mentally, then you are in a much better place to decide if you want to be a vegan, for the right reason, for the ethical reason. And there is nothing wrong with that. But if it's like messing with your recovery, if you have intense cravings for animal products and you feel like you can't respond to it, and maybe after you feel guilty, you feel shameful, then like I wouldn't want this to like stop my recovery. Yeah, so yeah, like this is what I'm gonna advise because this is like my experience. Yes. Mm. Uh, So Miranda is asking, hi Elisa, uh, I don't have a therapist, uh, but I live with house counseling, but they don't understand eating disorder. Mm. I also reading recovery sites, but nothing help really. So, so what I understand is you are like like struggling in recovery. You don't have a therapist and stuff. Uh, But what about like searching like online, like recovery coaches and stuff? Because like there's just like so many options you can choose from, and people who can help you to recover. Uh, yeah, so because this is like what I do. Like if I don't know something, if I want to, learn how to do something, I always like search something online, some options. If I can find people who are teaching something that I need to learn, so I follow them. I listen to their advice. Yeah, maybe you can get some like one-on-one work with them. Maybe you can book a session with them. Yeah, because like now with the internet, like all the wide world is open to us, and like there's like so many people who can help you. um, so Natalie is asking, I am now in a bad cycle where I have about 2 to 5 days where I feel like an intuitive eater with a good balance, but then I binge. I feel ashamed and get frustrated. How can I change my mindset? So recovery can sometimes be, like up and down. And just because you have, like few days when you feel like you're eating normally and you are eating intuitively and everything, like this doesn't mean that you still can't have those days when you feel you have like such a big hunger, you are overwhelmed with the hunger. and you still need to respond. But like what you have to change is your mindset about it, like your judgmental mindset about like having such a big hunger, or the binges or extreme hunger or whatever. So, like, you have to respond to your body, like, no matter what. If I feel today I'm eating like a normal amount, I respond to it. If tomorrow I'm gonna need like such a big quantity of food, lots of calories, I'm gonna respond to that as well. But right now, like, you are already in your mindset, like one type of eating is good, the other type of eating is bad, like the don't binge eat diet. like I really like this term because it's so accurate. Like when we have a mindset of like whatever you do, it's fine, but binge eating is like not fine, and even just like labeling it as bad, we already like judge our recovery eating, because in recovery, like, you need to eat a lot of food, and but you just need to let go of the shame and guilt around this food. And this is again what I talk about, the unconditional permission to eat. By the way, my cat is here. she was uh, she was drinking my water, weren't you? Was drinking my water. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just seeing the questions like very randomly, so I'm very sorry if I can't like answer all of the questions, but I'm trying to do my best. So Natalie is asking, I've been trying to reduce exercise, but I get so emotional when I don't do cardio. My hormones are crazy when I don't exercise. Any tips on combating this? So yeah, like if somebody has such a big anxiety just because they need to stop exercising, then it's already kind of sign that it's a big problem for you and you should stop. And like you can't, like in recovery we can't do something based on our emotions, because our emotions will feel, you will feel like a lot of anxiety, panicking, you will feel scared. And if you would base your recovery by following those emotions, like nobody could recover. But in recovery, actually, you need to go, like towards the fear, towards the anxiety, because this is kind of the only way through recovery into the full full recovery. So the emotions and anxieties are coming up because of the illness, and this is how your brain wants you to kind of like go back to your eating disorder. uh, yeah, because your brain has like really like learned that eating disorder is your like normality, like your comfort zone. So like you have to like not listen to your like the fear or anxiety about stopping the exercising, but you actually have to go towards like what's uncomfortable, because this is the only way to recovery. And I have a video about this same concept, and it's called like why you 100% need to get uncomfortable in recovery. And this is like what I talk about there as well, that when you start recovery, you start to eat enough food and gain weight and let go of exercising, like all of those emotions will come up. You will feel like angry, you will feel panicky, you will feel anxious, but actually this is just a sign and symptom of recovery, and you just need to keep on going. And this is the saying of like feel the fear but do it anyway. And this is what you have to do in recovery, like feel the emotions, like let them out, as I talked previously, either by crying, writing, talking to a friend, asking support, but skip the exercise. And you can go cold turkey on exercise and just stop the exercise. And with many people I help one on one, I see that yes, like the first month of no exercise, it's kind of like they still have the habit, they still want to do it. But after that, like after like 3 months or something, they don't even remember having a problem with exercise. And I ask them, like, did something bad happen because you stopped exercising? And they say, like, actually, I don't think anything happened because I stopped exercising. Because the people have the fear that if I don't exercise, I will start to like gain weight and everything. But no, actually, like if you exercise, your body will compensate for it. And I have a video about this as well, where I talk about will I get fat when I stop exercising. So you can check out that video. But yeah, like all the emotions coming up is so normal, but you still have to quit exercising. And after you quit exercising over time, you will see that nothing bad happens and your mind will calm down as well. Yeah. Uh, so I will take the last question for now. Do you have any advice how to stop to constantly think about food, no matter what I do or don't do, no matter how much I satisfy my cravings? I always seem to think about food 24/7. So yeah, this is again where I would like to know and speak with you, like one on one to ask like what's going on. And even just let's say like you are doing everything correctly, like you are doing your best to recover, you are following all the steps, maybe what I recommend in my book. Even just by following all that, like your body just simply needs time and consistency. And even let's say I'm going to start recovery today, I'm going to do everything correctly, and after 1 month I'm like where is my full recovery? Why I'm still obsessed about food? Why I still have the extreme hunger here and there? And this is kind of like your body just needs time. Like you need time to unbrainwash, to recover your body physically, your body to start to trust you again. So uh, so yeah, and I would say like keep on being consistent in recovery, like give it time. And obviously it can depend like here and there, but what I say is like take like full year to focus on recovery and being like super consistent with this. Yeah, like don't expect your recovery be over in just a few months or something. And I don't know how long you have been recovery, but it's more important to know how long you have been consistent. And also, as like what I mentioned earlier, was to also work on your mental side of recovery, all the limiting thoughts, letting go of the like negative body image and negative self-talk, letting go of the diet mindset, like unbrainwashing yourself, get into the like the body image stuff, because as long as you focus on your weight, you know like so many people, they wouldn't be worried about the overeating in recovery if they wouldn't be like underlying worried about the weight gain. So this is why you need to do the mental work in order to release like your like the weight gain or the body image issues, like focusing on your weight, focusing on your like the body how it is. So I would say like don't try to like do all the physical work and stuff, like for sure, but like focus more on being consistent and like healing the relationship with yourself and with your body, and doing the mental work. Because if you do that, then generally actually the food issues will resolve by itself, because the food issues were actually like caused by all of those, like weight focus, body image issues and stuff. So the food normally is never a problem, but actually like your mental issues and how you approach yourself, how to talk with yourself, like actually this is something to work on. So yeah, so I will finish now because in literally like 3 minutes I have another call to take. But I'm very happy you came here, and yeah, and sorry about earlier. I had a little mess up with the live stream and stuff. And yeah, and I really hope I can upload this on my channel so you can later watch it as well. And yeah, and thank you very much. And for sure in the future I'm going to do more of these live Q&As because I have fun. Yeah, so thank you so much. Bye.